ready to launch. Oh, there it is. Oh, shit. Oh. This is the silliest vehicle. Hey guys, welcome back. This week we're going to the Great White North to live with a Tesla Model S PLAID for a few days. Never driven an electric car, but might as well the first one to be the fastest one in the world. Why not? So enough talking, cue the travel montage. So here we are, the Tesla Model S PLAID. Now I figure this car has broken the internet, and why not try it? I've never driven an electric car before. This is my first time ever. Might as well be the fastest one in the world. My mama didn't raise no bitch. And an opportunity presented itself to get my hands on a PLAID for a handful of days. So far I've probably driven it for about a day and a half. Just kind of wanted to get to grips with it, how everything works, and honestly it just drives like any other normal car. The eerie silence of nothingness is a little bit weird to get used to, especially somebody like me that's had pretty loud combustion engine cars my entire life. There's some of this range anxiety that I've been experiencing where I'm staying at in Illinois. There's no Tesla superchargers anywhere close by. The closest one's like 45 minutes away. Last night when I parked this car around, I think it was 11:30 p.m., I hooked it up to the socket. It was at 80 miles, 280 miles range, or 279 or something like that. Right now it's, what time is it? It's 8:30 in the morning. And over that time frame, it was hooked up and charging the whole time, and I only gained about 20 miles of range. So it's definitely something that brings anxiety, because you have to sit there and think about it all the time. When am I going to be able to, recharge the car? It's not as available as, for instance, like at a regular gas station. Even here in Illinois, where you would think there would be many more of them, they're not. Closer to the city, yes. In the northwest suburbs where I'm at, not so much. The second problem is the amount of range you use in PLAID mode. And it is a very, very addictive thing. It is, you cannot prepare your brain for it. Even though you know it's coming, every time it throws you off when you punch it in PLAID mode. It explodes, and there's no, boost build up, no RPM spinning. Is just instant. As soon as you punch it, it just rockets. And of course I had to give some people a ride, and I will obviously include that with the colorful language that comes with it, because it does surprise everybody when you do get on this car. Like I said, you cannot prepare for it. No matter what you do, it sneaks up on you. Right now we're heading to a closed road to get some footage of PLAID mode and how it all works. But it's a weird thing. Right now we're in sport mode, and I think it's something like 790 horsepower in sport mode, and you punch it and triple digits almost instantly. It is the most entertaining thing I have ever done. This car makes you laugh all the time. Now, like with anything else, it is not perfect. It has its flaws, as you'd expect it. The typical thing that you've read about all these is the fit and finish. When we were driving down the highway yesterday, the whole screen just go black on me for probably about 30-35 seconds. The car continued running, no issues there, but it did go black, and I was a little bit alarmed about it, to say the least. I'm driving, all of a sudden everything went black, and I'm like, oh crap, we're on the highway going like 80 miles an hour, and if this thing shuts off or locks up or something like that, it's going to be devastating. So there's that side of it. I noticed a couple little rubber trim pieces don't fit perfectly, but they're little things and they're easily fixable. I know that people have complained about panel gaps. This one here specifically, the panel gaps seem just fine and dandy. The most popular talking point about this car is the steering wheel, and I wanted to drive it around for a little bit before I gave my opinion. You know, I've seen pictures just like everybody else, and everybody always has the same thought: it's stupid, it doesn't work, blah blah blah, and it looks awkward. Yes and no. If you're just driving around and you two-hand drive, you know, especially in extreme conditions, and if you're doing plaid things, you probably should have both hands on the steering wheel, because the car does torque steer when you launch it in plaid mode, and you could hear and feel the front wheels scrubbing and the whole car breaking traction. So it has clever systems on board that stop it from just turning the tires into, you know, smoke, but you have to be holding on. You don't want to be some amateur, because it could easily grab and spin you out. So if you're just driving around normally, the regular everyday driving type of stuff people do, it honestly makes no difference whatsoever. You could find a comfortable position, whether it be at the bottom of it, rest your hands on top, on the side. It really isn't all that bad. It doesn't really bother me at all. The one downside with it is when you're trying to maneuver in parking lots or tight spots, it is a little bit awkward and weird to get used to. You can't do hand over hand things. Same thing, you know, if you go drifting with it or something like that, you can't really catch the steering wheel, and I think that's kind of weird. I mean, I'm sure with enough time, with enough seat time in the car, you could easily learn it. It's not a deal breaker or end of the world, but it is definitely something different and interesting, and I guess that's kind of why they did it. It's, you know, Elon Musk has always tried to reinvent the wheel type of thing, and here they literally did. Some electric car things, because if you are watching this and you've never driven an electric car, and with today's ridiculous gas prices, you're entertaining the idea of switching to an electric car. Some things to know: the regenerative braking is a little bit weird. Second thing is, creeping up to like stop signs or out of driveways, etc., you have to be touching the throttle for it to go. In a regular combustion engine car, you could just put it in drive or in first gear if it's stick shift and kind of creep up to things, and people have gotten very used to doing that. It's something that, you know, you don't even think about that you do. It becomes second nature. It takes a little bit. It took me a little bit of driving it to get used to the sensation of having to hit the gas for things to happen, or the accelerator pedal, because it's obviously not gas. So that's a weird caveat. Another thing with the steering wheel is the controls and the lights and the turn signals. Overall, this works like an iPad type thing. So if you know how to use an Apple device, doesn't matter if it's an iPhone, an iPad, you can pretty much find your way around in this car and how everything works. Everything's point and click. Some menus and some things are a little bit annoying, that you have to go through a bunch of modes and whatnot to turn on, turn off certain things, like the way the wipers work. So this is driver's point of view, and obviously the very dominant thing in your eyesight is the steering wheel. These are your turn signals left and right. This is how to flash the brights. This controls pretty much all the sub menus you go into, so wiper speed and things like that. It's windshield wipers, the speak to talk thing, horn, trip, and all that, and everything else ends up displaying on here. If you don't know how Tesla goes into drive, once you hit the brake, this will go forward, and then this is reverse, and you get your 360 view of everything. Tap to park, then you have all your sub menus and whatnot. In here is your chill drives mode. Sport is what I've been driving around on. And then there's plaid mode. There's all the drag strip mode and everything else. I actually haven't tried sport steering. Let's switch that to sport instead of standard. And let's just do a quick takeoff in plaid mode without launch control or anything. To give you an idea of how ridiculous this car accelerates, right now I'm going to take off in plaid mode, roll into it, nothing you know, extravagant, no launch control mode. I'm just going to punch it and watch the speed climb. Jesus. Yep, still not something you could easily get used to. Every time it hits you. So right now I put it in drag strip mode, and it's got to warm up the batteries and get it ready for peak performance. So while it does that, I'm going to drive it a little bit, and hopefully once it's ready, and we can have some fun and have a heart attack as well. So now the car's lowering down, preparing for launch. As soon as she's in cheetah mode, it will say ready to launch, and we'll go. Ready to launch. Let's go plaid. Jesus. We'll do it one more time on the way back. We spun a little bit, so it wasn't as aggressive off the line as I would have liked it to be, but let's try it one more time. All right, foot hard, foot hard. She's lowering down. Now she's low. Ready to launch. Oh, there it is. Oh, shit. Oh. Woo. This is the silliest vehicle. That is a sensation that is really, really weird to explain to somebody. Till you feel it and experience it, I don't think you could tell anybody exactly how it feels. That first launch, it spun a little bit and it kind of backed down the power on the initial. On that second one, it was a little bit of smoother part of the road, and it launched full tilt. Oh my God, this thing rips. Mind you, that used, just those two launches used about 15 miles worth of range. Something to keep in mind, but wow. I'm glad my GoPro held on for that one. I have a GoPro. What a silly, silly, silly vehicle. So we'll take a few corners, see how she does around corners. Obviously, that's ridiculous. Oh, that's the one thing in this car when you go to approach corners, you got to keep in mind the speed at which you're approaching them, but it's very capable. Oh God, that is a sensation you don't get bored of easily. My God. Obviously we got a good bit of road here. It's a little chilly today, but this part, you take the corner and then boom. What a silly, silly car. Very capable though, especially for its weight. It carries it really well. This car does not feel like it weighs as much as the moon. Jesus. Brakes are definitely something you have to keep in mind when coming in the corners because it goes into them so fast. There you go, a left-hander. Jesus. Woo! That takes a while to get used to. definitely doesn't get boring quick. Obviously, you can't have a Tesla Plaid video without some reaction videos. So coming up are some clips. Don't mind the colorful language. It has this tendency to get people to start swearing and using words that you wouldn't normally use. So keep that in mind. I'll try to bleep some of it out, but there is a lot of colorful language coming up in the next few clips. Sorry, to give you an idea of what it's like in like regular sport mode. So this is sport mode.
Holy shit. What the f?
Now we'll switch it to Plaid.
The Plaid?
Yes.
Are we doing Spaceballs here?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's
Really?
ludicrous speed. Yeah.
Okay. Holy shit. What the fuck? Holy shit. Holy fuck!
That was 100.
What the fuck? Dude, that is ludicrous speed. Holy holy Jesus. I think my eyes are being in the back seat right now. It says drag strip mode?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, you can put it in launch mode and then launch it.
Holy shit. This is stupid.
It would make you think twice about buying an electric car, you know? Because like just that alone.
Holy f. And there's chill mode, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not interested in that.
Dobra, starczy. Niedobrze. To jest to. No rzeczywiście. Ja pierdolę. Ja pierdolę. Okej. Zakrętuję.
Już 50.
Oh my god! Kurwa! Ja myślałam, że się przód podniesie. Ale mnie wcięło.
Dziwne, nie czuć się. To było 125 mil na godzinę. Tu jebnie.
O matko święta, moje okulary. Okulary mi uciekły. Ale aż podchodzi ten krew w głowę. O matko święta, moje okulary. Okulary mi uciekły. Ale tak nie wiadomo co chwyt.
Ajajaj.
Jesus. Not bad. That's almost a quarter mile. Holy. Yeah, it hits, man.
Yeah, it's surprising. And then
That's why I did because I knew it's probably going to be instant, but it's.
right now we're going 72. And, you know.
I think that's even more surprising to me than the actual, like,
Yeah.
dig. I mean, granted, we did a rolling. That's 100. Jesus Christ, dude, it's just. Yeah, you shouldn't have a license in this car, like. Oh, man.
So, final thoughts on the Plaid. This car is so different from anything else you could probably drive on the road. It is very luxurious inside. It genuinely is. It very minimal, plain interior, and I kind of like it because it's going to be harder for it to age. Some concerns are all this infotainment stuff. This stuff goes out of date really quickly. Even if you look at it on my C63, you could tell that it's out of date. That's the thing that the number one thing that ages out a car is all the infotainment things, because technology moves so quickly with the digital screens and everything else. Other than that, it's honestly not bad. There is on some bumps a rattle in the right rear corner, which is whatever. I guess if you are paying $140,000 for a car, you don't want that, but I think most of that price in R&D is actually in the drivetrain itself, and it shows. It is very addicting to drive this car like a complete idiot. It's very capable for what it is around corners, which surprised me. You know, you could feel its weight most under braking. It is a heavy car, and the rate at which it approaches a corner is so ridiculous and so mind-boggling that you don't really realize how fast you're really going. You know, you don't have that engine sound in the background popping and banging and everything else, so it kind of makes it harder to judge your speeds coming into a corner. It's kind of, you're kind of disconnected, it's kind of quiet, and then it just goes like hell. So it's definitely something to keep in mind when you're driving one of these. It is a little bit of a learning experience. You have to recalibrate the way you drive, the way you approach things, the way you come into corners. I tried really hard not to like the car. I'm one of those people that's all about internal combustion, but after this experience, I could say that once that infrastructure is there for electric cars, and you could actually charge them in 20-30 minutes to a full charge almost anywhere, they're gonna steamroll over the combustion engine cars. And it's a sad truth, but internal combustion cannot keep up with the rate of pace that these things produce. It's unfortunate, and all the internal combustion engine cars are gonna eventually all become classics, because honestly, this is the future. You know, it's hard to match this with an internal combustion engine, and it's so easily accessible and usable. Now, I'm not gonna find myself in the market for an electric car anytime soon, especially because I don't have 150 grand to spend on one of these, and after driving this, I don't think I could sit there and settle for a regular like Volkswagen ID4 or something like that. It would have to be something that is this ridiculously fast. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've never really done a car review video. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a car review video. It's more of my experience and opinion on the Tesla Plaid, or electric cars in general, considering this is the first one I've ever driven. I know it will be kind of hard to top the Tesla Plaid in another video, but I kind of want to do more of these types of videos. So if you guys enjoyed it, please give it a like, leave some comments, suggestions, whatever else. I really appreciate it. It all helps the channel grow and gives me more opportunities like these to be able to experience such cars. So once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Till next time.